Steve, we're getting our fight on, buddy. We're jumping into Creed Rise to Glory, the complete edition. Steve, you and I jumped into our VR, and here's the thing. I'm on PSVR 2, you're on Oculus Quest 2, or Meta, whatever you want to call it. I'm calling it Quest 2, regardless. And it's one of those things we get to go in, and for the first time ever, I feel like I'm sweating in a workout situation in a VR game that isn't caused due to motion sickness. Like, I'm actually getting a workout here with Creed Rise to Glory, and I'm having a ton of fun. The game's not perfect, but it hits on a lot of high points for me. I've really enjoyed the time of the game. Rolled credits just the other day. It didn't take too long, dude. In fact, actually, I almost rolled credits the first day, but I was so spent and gassed that I just couldn't finish the last fight. I was like, yo, I'm exhausted now. Sweat is like pouring off of me. My arms are getting sore. I'm tired. I'm like, yo, what a wicked experience to be in VR, not caused by motion sickness, to be sweating the way I was and getting my workout on for the first time ever, I think, in VR, where I felt comfortable enough that, yo, I'm back tomorrow. And then I'm back again the next day. And the fighters are cool. And there's a lot of cool elements. But before I get into it too heavily, Steve-O, what are your thoughts?
Yep. I actually really enjoyed. I want to call it a game, but I still want to call it a workout.
Yeah.
Because like me, after 3/4 of that, my head was just drenched. And I will say, on the Oculus Quest 2, graphically, they've done a good job. You can see the characters who they're trying to be, whether it's Rocky or Drago or Apollo Creed or Donnie. And like you said, there's so many features in this game because it's not just the career mode where you follow the story of Donnie. It's not heavily story based, but you get the phone calls and you get a bit of a gist of the idea of what is going on. But believe me, like, before you start each fight, that workout when you have to train, that is rigorously hard work because it's a lot of moving that controllers around.
No, absolutely. Everything felt like I was connecting. I think that's the other side too, right? When you get into VR, it needs to feel believable. And I felt like when I was landing the punch, yo, I was landing that punch. And I am swinging hard, man. Like back on the Wii, like remember when you just kind of like flicked the Wii remotes and that would do it for you? Yeah, exactly. Dude, that's not the case here. If you just tap the person, that's not going to do anything. It's going to just kind of like brush their cheeks. But when you like actually swing and bring your momentum and that speed with you and that power, it hits and it connects, and then you kind of get this motion of, yo, this is really working. Now, granted, you get into the game, pretty simple, basic setup, right? You get a little phone call, a little story setup, you do a bit of training, and then you get into the ring and away you go. There was a little bit outside the ring as well at one point, but you can figure that out as you play the campaign, which didn't really go all that long, Steve, right? The campaign's not very lengthy at all, but there's other modes that kind of keep you coming back. There is the free play mode, which then you can do all your training and how you want to set up other fights, and you kind of go in. There is a PvP element too, but I wouldn't know how that works, Steve, because no one was playing, dude. Over on the PSVR 2, I had nobody to play with. I'm trying to jump in, I'm going, okay, cool. Now that I've wrapped up the campaign, there is free play mode that I can go into every day and work out and whatever, but maybe let's just step it up and go online, see how I fare, right? How my punch is gonna land in a real person or versus the AI. But I couldn't find out. Like, I didn't play an online match whatsoever. I just disconnected. It would just sit there and wait. It would load, and then all of a sudden, dude, it just goes like black screen and then timed out. I'm like, there's just nobody here on PSVR 2 playing, which is unfortunate because that would have kept me going much longer. You fared out differently though. You were able to play.
Exactly. I tried out the PvP yesterday and it didn't take too long. There was like 3 other people in the same kind of lobby, even though they all were Rocky Balboa, but it was kind of funny. So I picked a couple of matches. You stay with one guy to actually bounce and go to the main menu. So I had 3 different matches with this one person.
Nice.
I would say it's funny because I was casting it for the recording. It was some of the graphicals of the arm movements, like when he moves, it was lagging and it looked like he's all disjointed sometimes. Yeah, his hands were moving all over the place.
Yeah.
But I do like how they did though, when you, like you said, the game mechanics was pretty good on the Oculus, on the controllers. So like you said, when you're laying the punches, even on the PvP, I love how the face starts getting bruised or the body, you see the marks. So you know you're making contact. But when you get knocked out and you have to move those hands really quick to get back into the ring, It kind of reminds me like if you have that out of body experience, because
Yeah.
your soul just leaves your body and then you just have to quickly run back to your body to get back up again. But the PvP worked pretty good for me, and like I said, I had 3 rounds on that.
Nice.
And I did notice as well on one of the updates, you could have incorporate the Oculus Move, which will then tell you in this game of how many calories you're burning. The fitness fanatics. Yeah,
that's a good bonus, right? That's a nice little additive right there for the quest. I didn't see that come through for anything because I don't think PSVR 2 has that feature, right? So it wasn't there for me. But getting into graphics, like you're talking about the bruises, dude, the detail in the fighters were fantastic. The announcer was there, right? The ref kind of watching the match and everything. It was good until you look over the ring and look outside the ring. Dude, that was some of the worst crowds I've ever seen. I thought like we had like the Mii characters from Nintendo watching us do the fight. And I'm like, man, if you could have had that detail in the fighters, in the crowd, even the front row, the front 2 rows, that impact would have made it way more believable than getting what we had with these faces. Dude, the heads were like twice the size of the bodies. The arms are like these little twigs that kind of go like this. I remember looking up into the crowd, and as I panned over, this woman's elbow comes up, and it was like a box. It was like a triangle. I'm like, oh, wow. And it just, that effect just takes you one notch down, right? And it was just like, I'm having such a great time. And yeah, it's not the end of the world to see this crowd look as bad as it is, but man, it was just, it kind of like, whoa.
The thing is, and they've done such a good job on the arena, like have all the lights above, the microphone hanging up there, and all the, like I say, the stalls and the balcony areas.
Yeah.
But like with my one, it looked like the characters were just copied and pasted. I just changed the skin tone a little bit and just put a different color top on. And when you look at them, it kind of seems weird. Like, it looks like Agent Smith of the Matrix. Like they're all the same character, all the same person in the background. But overall, it sort of, it didn't put me off too much. We have a laugh about that part of things.
Yeah.
But the game itself is pretty solid.
Absolutely. Steve, I've had a great time with my PSVR 2 and Creed Rise to Glory. Dude, I've had a ton of fun. When I'm in there with fighting, and yo, I'm a decently tall guy. I'm 6 feet. And then some of the fighters I'm up against, yo, I'm looking up, trying to fight them, right? And I'm ducking and I'm weaving. Sometimes I'm not weaving so well at all. But either way, I've had a great time here. PvP was definitely a hindrance here. I really wanted to see that go along. And the crowd took me a little bit out of the game. Overall, for me, dude, I'm sitting at an 8.5. It could have been just a little bit higher if that PvP worked and the crowd was just not the crowd. How about you?
I'm with you. I was exactly trying to decide what to score this, and this is something I'm definitely going to get back into. I'm giving this an 8.5 because, if anything, for your stamina and endurance, this is definitely like a keep fit kind of workout that I'm going to keep on doing, and for that, that's why I'm giving this an 8.5 as well.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Love that workout edition.
Stop. Keep many kids like that. I got this. Needs more than a few taps. Don't let up. Probably shouldn't have done